Hello everyone, I am Anagha Devale. I completed my engineering in information technology. I completed CS certification and currently student of MIL Academy. And today's topic is web application security. Hello everyone, my topic of presentation is web application security. I will be covering the basis of web apps, web apps vulnerabilities, securing web apps. So starting with the background, let's move to know what is a HTTP. HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is a stateless protocol because each request is processed independently without any knowledge of request that came before it. HTTP requests have two methods, get and post method. First, we will see a get method. It is mostly commonly used. In this, form data is encoded in URL and should be used to retrieve information and not for the actions. So this is how the get method looks like, and this is the encoded URL. Next is the post method. The data here is included in the body of the request and should be used for any action like storing or updating the data. This is how the post method looks in the HTTP request. Now get versus post security. The information contained in parameters can tell a user or a hacker a lot about how application works. In get method, it is easily visible in address, whereas the post are in the hidden format, and average users cannot see that. But the user can view this by using the source code or the packet and can still intercept and modify the web requests. The traditional websites consist of static pages, hard-coded links, and it does not contain any application, which was stored in the web server. Now, we no longer have websites, we have web applications. The web applications resides on the multiple systems in a distributed architecture. These are the three-tier architecture. First layer is presentation layer, second, business logic, and third is a database. Using a sophisticated programming languages and architectures makes it very complex architecture. The corporate and the customer data are moved to the computing edge. Edge extended to the cell phones, PDAs, mobile cells, force solutions, inventory management systems, etc. Now, we will see how the web application breached the perimeter. User using the browser request web application of an organization. This request goes to the internet via firewall, which is allowing only the HTTP port 80 and HTTPS port 443. This web server which goes to the application server via the another firewall, which is a trusted zone, in which firewall allows only the applications on the web server to talk with the application server. Next, the application server has to talk to the corporate database server, which is again to be passed via the firewall. This firewall allows the only trusted application server to talk with the database server. Now, let's move why web application vulnerabilities occur. There is a lack of awareness of application vulnerabilities in the security departments. The security departments scrutinize the desktop, the network, and even the web servers, but web application escapes their measures. Even in departments that want to audit for web application vulnerabilities, the lack of effective tools have made it impractical. As a result, certification and accreditations programs rarely examine the web applications. In fact, the entire development cycle is usually missing from security procedures and controls. This illustrates the fundamental gap between security and development, which creates the web applications vulnerabilities. Now, type of web application vulnerabilities. There are two types of web application vulnerabilities. First is the technical vulnerabilities and the second is the logical vulnerabilities. The result of insecure programming techniques is a technical vulnerabilities, whereas the result of insecure programming logic is a logical vulnerabilities. The technical vulnerabilities are detected by scanners, and the detections in the logical vulnerabilities is often require human to understand what the context is. Web application vulnerabilities. Web application vulnerabilities occurs in different areas of web applications. The web server itself is subject to a variety of known vulnerabilities, all of which must be readily patched for. The actual administration and the management of the server and contents is very important. A misconfigured server or a poorly managed content can permit system file and source code disclosure. The application itself is of the utmost importance. It too can be deliberately reveal source code and system files and even allow full system access. It can mistakenly allow reply attacks against your customers. It could allow a hacker to impersonate your customers. In addition, in the web application that interacts with the database to manage and tracks customer information and store business and transaction information, one slip up in the web application can expose the entire system and database right to a web browser right over the port 80. Now, how to secure a web application? First, incorporating security into the life cycle. Integrate security into application requirements, including information security professionals in the software architecture design review, security APIs and libraries when possible. Threat modeling can be utilized, and web application vulnerability assessment tools can be used. Second, educate. Educating the developers that the software security is a best practice. Testers, initiating them for methods for identifying the vulnerabilities. Security professionals, software development, software coding, best practices. Executives and system owners, etc., should understand the risks and why they should be concerned. And last is the OWASP. What is OWASP? OWASP is the Open Web Application Security Project. It is an international non-profit charitable open source organization funded primarily by the volunteers' time, OWASP membership and OWASP conference fee. OWASP is dedicated to provide information, tools and resources to the web application security community. T10 is the annual list of top 10 most severe web application vulnerabilities. OWASP guide to the building a secure web application and web services. OWASP testing guide is a guide to test security testing for web apps. This is the latest OWASP Top 10 2010 edition. The first is A1 SQL injection, second is cross-site scripting, A3 is a broken authentication and section management, A4 insecure direct object reference, A5 cross-site request forgery, A6 security misconfiguration, A7 failure to restrict URL access, A8 insecure cryptographic storage, A9 insufficient transport layer protection, A10 unvalidated redirects and focus. This can be further elaborated and can be known how the vulnerabilities can be scanned and exploited. So the OWASP top 10 should be used for the awareness.